Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is SewRena, and in today's video we're going to be sewing up a Christmas skirt. I absolutely love holiday crafting, and this year is going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to be able to make as much holiday footage or holiday content as I'm used to, but I'm going to do my best anyway. And this time of year always is so special to me and very exciting to share with you all. So if you're interested in seeing me sew up a retro or vintage inspired Christmas tree skirt, go ahead and like and subscribe. And now let's get into the video. It's that time of year again where I make a felt Christmas tree skirt. I don't do this annually because I do like to make heirloom pieces that I feel like will be in my family for years to come. So I've already made one, which I'm pretty sure I filmed a couple years back. And so I'm going to make another one. This time I'm gifting it to a loved one. So I wanted to use the embroidery function on my Janome skyline. For this, I would have done the felt way, like 100% felt way, with my Cricut maker. However, I packed it away and I could not access it. So I was just like, while I still have the embroidery machine out, let me go ahead and do that. So I found some really cool fonts over on Etsy, downloaded them, and decided to get to work. I'm a tad bit disappointed in the availability of like craft felt. I feel like years back, I had way more options to choose from. This year, the only colors I could choose from was white and maybe a dark green. And if you know me, you know that I love a pastel Christmas. And so the dark green was a bit too much for me. So I went with white. And if you're wondering, well, what's wrong with white? There's nothing wrong with white, but I do feel like when the fabric is white, that it requires way more effort to fill up the blank space. And so I felt like I did not go into this with a very solid plan. And I was kind of designing as I went. So I really don't have like a whole bunch of like design ideas to share ahead of time. I was basically just sewing and making it up as I went. Now, because I am packing up my sewing space, well, the whole house really, it was a bit difficult to access all of my craft supplies, which means I didn't have access to my glue gun, and I was being very stubborn and not wanting to buy a new glue gun. So I bought all of these sequins and figured that I would just go ahead and sew a few of them on. But the more I added sequins, the more I realized that I could embellish even more. Of course, I was going for a more nostalgic look, so I feel like the machine embroidery kind of made the piece look super modern, and I felt like adding the 3D effects that would have kind of been with the project if I went with a full felt design. I was able to add that effect back with the sequins. So the more sequins I would sew on, the more sequins I felt like it needed, and I kept going. And next thing you know, I was doing a whole bunch of hand sewing on what should be a craft project, and it turned into something much more than I was anticipating. But also, I feel like that helps with the durability of this piece. Also, it's a wonder that I managed to pack up all of my glues, infusible anything, but I kept out the invisible thread that I only used one time almost over 5 years ago. So just my luck that I left out that thread. And so that's what I'm using to sew these on to where you can't really see the thread, and also using this like almost fishing line makes it so that way you don't have to match your thread with the sequin. So I just use the one thread throughout. At this point, I'm still kind of just making it up as I go, so I decided that I would just cover all of the parts of the ornaments with the corresponding sequin, and that gave it a 3D effect, but also made it shine like I feel like a real ornament would. It did cover up a bit of the stitching details. I feel like the person who designed this embroidery file added like some chevron stitching and things like that to give each ornament depth. But I think from far away, the sequins shine a bit better, and so I was going for a more handmade look anyway, so this definitely helped, but was not necessary. Now back to my standard sewing machine. It's time to add some more embellishments because of course we still have so much blank white space. So I wanted to go with more metallics and shiny to pop off of that white background. So I used some metallic rickrack and some other like metallic and white cording. I feel like at the end of every Christmas season, I buy up all of the trims and ribbons that I can find, and this is the first year that I actually had something to do with those ribbons, so I was really excited to have it. Also, I found these velvet bows because I love the texture of velvet, and of course, I wanted some more 3D elements to my design, so I added contrasting bows to each ornament all the way around. As exhausting as this was, and as tired as my fingers were becoming, I decided to stick it through and still hand sew each and every one of these bows. So at this point in time, everything is still 100% either machine sewn or hand sewn. No part of this has been glued just yet. But trust you me, I did eventually give up because even after all of this embellishing, I still felt like the skirt needed some more. And you'll be able to see that in a later clip that it's very pretty, but still kind of blank. So here you see it now. I think it's gorgeous, but still too much blank space. So I did go in and randomly or sporadically glue on some extra sequins. And so once that is done, it's time to sew on the trim, which I did have to order. This is 1-inch gold trim. So I use my featherweight because at this point I'm no longer in my studio. I'm at the recipient's home. And so I go in and sew this all around the scalloped edge. I also added some trim around the base of it that's going to go around the tree as well, so I could cover up some of that blank space. And then the skirt is complete. I am so happy with how it turned out. If I could change anything about it, I probably would have made the circle opening a bit bigger because I did not account for the fact that the recipient was going to be using a live tree, and I used the pattern that I used for my faux aluminum tree from the 1960s, so the hole was a bit small, but ultimately I was very happy with it because it does hide the plastic watering container very well, and you guys will see that coming up soon. This was a really fun project to make. My Christmas content isn't going to be as plentiful as it is in the past since I've gone through some major life changes, but this was still really fun and exciting to do, and it made me very, very happy, especially to be able to bring a little bit of my Christmas joy to someone else. Thank you so much for watching my content. If you would like to, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. It would help me out tremendously. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this project. Do you make your own Christmas skirts? Do you prefer live trees or artificial trees? Please share your traditions down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel any further, you can leave me a virtual tip over on Ko-fi or become a bobbin over on Patreon. I would absolutely love to have you. Thank you so much again, and until my next video, have a wonderful day. Bye.